Hi, Ryan Hartman here with Inside Real Estate. Welcome to this walkthrough training we're calling a land for sale real estate growth system build. Now, before you click off, just know that the idea behind this growth system is that we're actually trying to generate listings. So it's not specifically about the land for sale element here in the title. So stick with me here. If you want more listings, you're really going to like this growth system. So down below, you'll see some bullet points under the title there. We have our target client, as I just said, is going to be homeowners who might list with you. Our lead magnet is going to be price reduced land listings. Our traffic source is going to be Facebook and Instagram lead form ads. And our follow-up elements are going to be a conversation starting smart campaign, a simple retargeting ad, and a weekly updated land list that keeps the leads engaged and seeing our name in emails every week. For further context on growth system builds, please check out the video at youshouldclick.com/Renos after you're done watching this video. That lays out the framework that we're following here and might change the way you think about the way you go about building your own lead generation and conversion systems for your real estate business. Now, before we hop on in and get to work building out this system, here are the elements we're going to be building. We're going to be, number one, creating a conversation starting follow-up campaign. We're going to build that first so that when we get leads, they can be followed up on automatically and systematically. Then we're going to go ahead and build that Facebook lead form ad offering the land for sale list. We're going to link those two up in step 3. We're going to trigger the follow-up campaign with a zap that makes Facebook talk to our CRM. We're then going to set up a very simple retargeting ad that keeps us top of mind and showing up on digital channels with the people who've opted in. And we're going to set things up so that a weekly updated list of our price reduced land listings go out. So now let's hop on in and get that conversation starting follow-up campaign created. Here we are inside of a KV Core or Bold Trail Smart Campaign. This was built in KV Core, which is being transitioned over as I record this video into the new Bold Trail platform. Now, you can build similar campaigns in many other real estate CRMs. Just know that the tech being used here is not as important as the theory and strategy. If we look up at the top left here, we say it's called Land for Sale Conversation Starter. And that phrase conversation starter is important because the goal of this campaign is to just get people talking to us, a certain percentage of the people opting into the ad talking to us as quickly as possible. So you can see that's stated here in the goal of this campaign. Now, it's going to be applied to anybody who comes in with a hashtag land for sale, which is going to be important when we go ahead and connect up the Facebook and Instagram ads to our CRM here. We're going to need that hashtag. So the nuts and bolts of getting to this point and building this out will vary by CRM. The thing we want to zone in on now, though, is the actual content that's going out. And we only have 3 touches right here. Feel free to expand this out, add a few extra touches. You might want to add a task for somebody on your team. You might want to add an extra text or an extra email. But let's come on in and look at the email that's being sent out immediately. So I'm just going to click edit here, and you'll see that it has a subject line of your PA price reduced land list. It says, hi, first name. Here's the link to the land list you just requested from Facebook. It's got the link to the list, which we built using the KV Core Squeeze Link Builder. You can reference the docs for that if you're a KV Core user. If you use another system, just go ahead and build a list of that asset, that land list that you're offering here in your system. And then we say, hey, can you reply back and let me know you received it? We've had a few glitches with our system recently, and I just want to be sure things are working okay. So that's a little bit of a conversation starter where we're trying to encourage the person to reply back and engage with us in some form. Now, you can change what this is. You could say something like, just curious, are you an investor? Are you looking for a home to, a piece of land to build on? Something that continues the conversation. This is just something we are testing out right here. And it's just meant to get a reply. So let's go ahead and we will save this. Now look at the second touch here that goes out 3 minutes after the lead comes in, and it is a conversation text, and it goes something like this. It says, hi, lead first name. Thanks for accessing our land for sale list a few minutes ago. Just curious, do you already own real estate in the area, or are you based somewhere else? So we are trying to, again, get a conversation over text right there. We're also trying to assess whether this is somebody who already lives in the area and likely owns a home. One thing I didn't mention as we set up this campaign is the thinking behind the land for sale list. And the idea here is that we assume that most of the people opting in for this list, not all, but most people wouldn't opt in to see a land for sale list unless they already own some property. We are banking on the fact that a certain percentage of the people, a good percentage here, are opting into this list because they're curious and they might be thinking they want to get into real estate investing in some way, shape, or form, or they want to build a new home for themselves. So we are assuming that this is a homeowner in an area, but we're asking the question to try to get that reply to see who we're working with. The third touch here in our short campaign now tries to push people over and engage on the financing side of thing around land. So it says, hi, lead first name. If you're serious about building or investing in some central PA land, we've got access to a few interesting financing options that'll let you pull cash from an existing property for your land acquisition. Reply back if you'd like more details about these options. Now in this case, the agent who we're using as our guinea pig, Josh Shanley in Central PA, also happens to be dual licensed as a mortgage originator there, and he's generating, this is a good example of how you can co-market with your mortgage partner. So in his case, he is sort of both of these things, but if you have a mortgage partner that you can start to involve here, it's a good way to get that mortgage partner excited about what you're doing and maybe even contribute, in a RESPA compliant way to your advertising. So you were throwing in a text here that gets people engaged on the financing side, and we're kind of hinting at the fact that we are going to be pulling out of an existing property. We want to get that conversation going about the property they already own. So you're kind of getting the drift here. We're talking to a homeowner. We're not talking to somebody who specifically was looking for land. We're not saying, hey, how big of a lot do you need? What are you looking to build? Which of course we can do in future texts and emails, but we're coming out of the gate trying to generate a conversation around their house. So these are 3 initial texts. You can of course text and emails. You can of course add more. A day 3, a good day 3 would be to ask, are you looking to build? What size lot are you looking for? Are you looking for any specific areas? But as you've seen here, we're sticking to short texts and emails with an expectation of reply. We are not sending fancy HTML-ridden emails that talk about our designations, our experience, how cool we are. It's all just about the situation that person is in as they come into your funnel, and we're trying to generate a conversation here. You can do that branding stuff later, but for now we're trying to get the conversation. So that is part 2 of our journey here as we build this growth system. We've got some basic follow-up set up via this conversation starting campaign, and the next step we'll go ahead and build out our ad. Okay, here we are in the Facebook ads dashboard. I'm clicking the green create ad button. We're going to choose leads as our objective right here. Continue. I like to use the manual leads campaign setup right here. And continue on through. I am going to move fast in this section and assume that you know a little bit about running Facebook ads, or you have somebody on your team that can help you do this part, but just show you the basics of getting one of these lead form ads live here. So we'll call this PA priced reduced land. We need to make sure we choose our housing as the special category, which we've done. The rest of these options can stay the same. I'll click next right here. We're going to choose instant forms as our method right here. We'll name this ad set local counties. You can call that whatever you want. We're going to need to choose a Facebook fan page. In this case, I'm just going to choose a page we use a lot here locally, just our Opportunity Knocks page for this. Works well. And then our daily budget is going to be set at $10 a piece for now. We can scale that higher later. Scrolling on down, I want to make sure I get the proper areas. So we go to locations here, and I'm just going to add a few counties in here. Cumberland County. As broad or as narrow as you want to. That's not so important. Just know for real estate, you need to either choose one or multiple counties, or you need to choose a city and do 15 miles around that city. So I'm happy with this for now, this targeting. We're going to scroll to the next step, which is our ad setup. And now's where we're going to have a little bit of fun and get to the more important parts of this, where you're going to want to sort of copy what we're doing here. So I'm over here in Canva having a little fun here. The image is important in your ad. I am having a little fun, as I just said. You can see from the cow with the cow pie cow pie there. You do whatever you want, just something representative. In this case, price reduced for sale with a picture of land in your area will do the trick nicely. So I'm just going to save this image and come back to our ads manager here and add that as my image. You could also do a video of yourself talking about the list. You can get as creative as you want here, but I found that the simplest thing to do is always just sort of a static image, and you can have a little comedy in it to get a little more engagement. That's just optional, but you can see the list, the image right there. Now we're going to scroll down and we're going to put our primary text, and what we're going to say is see a complete current list of price reduced land for sale in Central PA. And then I'm going to mention the counties in our case, so Cumberland, Dauphin, York, Lancaster, etc. So just to qualify that. And then I'm going to do priced from, and then whatever that range would be, the low 100Ks, something like that. So that's sort of a good formula for your creative here. Whenever you're doing some kind of a property list, you talk about what it is, and then you mention a price range right here. I might do a little bit of a finger or something here using our emoticon tool. Joy Pixels is what we use for this. But you can keep it simple right here and expect to do pretty well. Our headline is going to be price reduced land in PA, and again, I'm going to have the pointer to the right of that. And for the most part, I am good. I'm going to change this sign up to say learn more. Now, the next step is going to be to build out our instant form right here. So I'm going to go ahead and create a form. And then I'm going to name this Central PA Price Reduced Land. Now for now I'm going to go with the more volume instead of the higher intent or rich creative. You can play around with these other options, but the more volume works fine. We usually just go with this. For our intro, we're actually going to remove the greeting. So in my intro section, I'm removing the greeting right here. The questions are probably the most important part of this. So the questions that we're going to ask for, I'm going to get rid of full name, but I'm going to actually click add category, and I'm going to add the phone number. And then I'm going to add for user information the first name and the last name separate. I like to bring those into the system separate when we build our Zap in a few minutes. This is why I separate them out. I like to do the first name, last name, email, and then phone number is the last option. Now you'll notice here, this is kind of recent, or I haven't noticed that you can actually make these optional if you want to increase lead flow. I would not. I would just leave them like that. People will submit this at a pretty good rate. And part of the key here to get those conversations starting, texts and emails out, is that you want the email and the phone number. For privacy policy, you're going to need some kind of link to the privacy policy. So I happen to know what that is. Put that in there. And then at the end, we're going to have our message for our leads. And you can do this two ways. You can bring the person straight to the website with the list if you want to, or you can say something like, great, we've emailed that link over. Remember when we built our campaign, the first email that goes out sends them the link to the list. Go check your email now. If you'd like to talk with us about anything Central PA real estate related right now, click the call now button. So I'm doing this part to just highlight that you can do pretty much whatever you want, but you have some options here. And you can put a phone number in here and have people call you off the ad. Now you're telling them to go check their email for the thing, but if you want to, you can do this extra call now step where they can click the button and talk to you. Very few people will do that. Or you can take them to another website. You can take them to the list. You could take them to, hey, in the meantime, go check out our a video from our lender partner about refinancing your house to buy a land investment. So something congruent, you can take them over there too with the go to website. I'm going to keep it simple now for demo purposes and just click create form. It will give me a little message here that says I forgot to add the description. So I forgot to do that. I apologize. Your description should reiterate what they were opting in for. So see the complete current list of Central PA price reduced land listings. So I'm just repeating what was in the ad. We want to keep it congruent and keep them on the trail that they were on. And then we're going to go ahead and click publish. So that is the nuts and bolts of running the ad. Of course, there's some room for variation here, but if you stick to this template more or less, where you're just saying, hey, see the complete current list of land for sale, you have a congruent image, you don't go too creative on the copy, and you follow the steps I took to build that lead form, you can expect to be in that 3 to 6, hey, depending on where you are, it might be a little more expensive, but somewhere under $10 per lead to get name, email, and phone. Okay, now that we have our Facebook ad set up, we've got our conversation starting campaign set up, we're going to build a Zap with Zapier.com. So here we are. We've chosen Facebook lead ads. We've linked up our account. We've set up our Facebook page and the lead form that we're connecting to. So that's what you do, is you choose the Facebook page and the lead form. We'll continue on through here, and we'll now go to the next step, which is to link up KV Core. So you'll link KV Core to Zapier, and you'll create the contact by mapping the fields over. So we'll pull the first name, last name, email, and cell number over. And probably the last big important step here is to make sure that you add in the hashtag for the that triggers the campaign. Remember, back in our campaign logic, we needed a hashtag that comes over that triggers the campaign in KV Core in this case. So we'll work the same for Bold Trail as well. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue here. We can see our tags showing up. And we're going to skip the test initially because we've just built this and there's no actual data in it yet. But assuming it works right, when you get that first lead, you'll see it flow into the system and you should see it get assigned automatically to that conversation starting campaign. Okay, so a few hours have actually gone by since I recorded the last section of this about building the Zap. And here we go. First lead has come in. I just checked in one lead. It cost us $2.34. Looking over here in the platform, I can see that it did indeed trigger the land for sale campaign, which is wonderful. It did indeed send the initial email, and it did send the initial text out. Now, there's been no response to that text yet, but no big deal. Not everybody will reply. We expect to get roughly a 30 to 40%. 32% is the number I use a lot because on a large sample size over the past few years in one specific account with a similar Facebook ad campaign, we hit 32% of people actually replying back to that initial text. But there you go. This is how you'll know it's working within a few hours. Just call it within 24 hours. You should see a lead or two, and then you just want to make sure that everything is flowing through. Now, coming back to our original slide here, let's talk about this idea of setting up a simple retargeting ad. We're going to do that next in Facebook. So what we want to do is anybody who interacts with our initial ad, we want them to kind of see stuff from us on an ongoing basis. And we can do that directly within the Facebook dashboard. So heading back into the dashboard here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a custom audience that is anybody who opens that lead form. They don't necessarily need to submit the lead form to get the land for sale list, but they need to open it on some level. So I'm going to click on audiences up here in the top left. And then I'm going to create a new audience. We'll call it a custom audience, create a new custom audience. I'm going to choose the meta source as lead form because the source of our audience is going to be people who opened it. And then I need to tie it to the appropriate Facebook page, which in this case was our Opportunity Knocks page. And I need to tie it to that Central PA price reduced land page. And I can do my audience retention for a set number of days. So I can let this run for 90 days, or I can just say, hey, for the first week after somebody interacts here, let's just show them a follow-up ad right here. And we'll call this the land for sale audience. Okay. And we can get specific lead form audience, and we'll create that. Now, just like that, anybody who interacts with our lead form is now available to be marketed to with another Facebook ad. So I'm going to go back here with my shortcut into the main part of the account. I'm going to click create to create a new ad. And a best practice here would be to do a video ad introducing yourself. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to go ahead and create a very simple engagement campaign, traffic campaign, like this. You can do any objective you want really here. It's not that important which you do, but I just want to show you how quick and easy you can set up this retargeting. So I'm going to do land for sale retargeting. Again, we're going to want to make sure we choose our housing ad category. We're going to continue on here. and we're going to say our conversion location. We can actually send people back to the website, but let's go ahead and just do messaging apps as Facebook is suggestion. And we'll just allow people to send us a message. Okay. So Josh's page is linked here. We can run it off a different page if we want to, which I will do. We'll just run it off of his branded page right here. And then we'll set a tiny, tiny $2 a day daily budget. That'll get us way more impressions than we even need. And then our audience, this is the important part here. We need to pick that custom audience that we just selected. Okay, so there's not going to be anybody on this except for maybe 1 or 2 people who've clicked on the ad so far. But over time, as more people click the ad and they open that lead form, it'll add them to this. I don't need to set anything else here. I'm clicking next down at the bottom right. You might not see that just because of my screen view here. And then we're going to create the retargeting ad, and this does not need to be super complicated. So you could add a video of here of you saying thank you. For example, just for demo's sake, I'm going to grab one of Josh's videos. I don't even know what it's about, but just so you can visualize this, maybe you record a quick video that says, hey, thanks for checking out my land ad. Here's my phone number. Shoot me a message if you want properties, and I'm going to instruct Josh to do that. For now, I'm just going to grab one of his older videos as a placeholder, and then our primary text is going to be thanks for checking out the land for sale, the Central PA land for sale list. So you acknowledge what they did, price reduced land list. If you have any questions about anything at all real estate related PA, feel free to get in touch anytime. And then I would put the cell number. My cell number, my number is, right, throw your phone number in there, and then, send a message. Send Josh, just to give you an idea. So it could be a video. It could be just a static picture of yourself. If you don't want to get on video, just put a picture of yourself right here. Again, I'm just putting I don't even know what's on this video that Josh has in his Facebook account, but he'll put something in there that just says, thanks for checking out the land list. And the idea here is just to let people get to know you a little better, either via a picture of yourself or, a video that calls them further along through your funnel. They're going to be getting those automated emails, those texts from you. And this quick retargeting step helps you increase the conversion rate that you're going to get here. And as you just saw, that took me about 3 minutes to do. Granted, I know that I do this all the time. It might be a little slower for you, but you get the idea. Go run a retargeting ad to anybody who opens that lead form ad and simply introduce yourself and give them a way to get in touch with you. It doesn't need to be more complicated than that. You can layer on other ads to that same audience. Let your imagination run wild, do lots of other sophisticated stuff, but the very basics would be, hey, thanks for accessing that list, and if you need to get in touch with me, here's how. So looking back here, we've knocked out the first 4 here. And then the last thing we're going to do is we are going to set up a longer term follow-up sequence. And there's a few ways to go about this. We can automate sending this updated list very simply within the KV Core or Bold Trail system. So I'm going to start there by setting up a rule that says, hey, send the price reduced land list every week to these people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into the platform. I go to marketing and it goes to search alerts right here. That's where I'm looking for. I'm going to go to the search alerts section and I'm going to create an alert that has the rule that says, hey, if this land for sale hashtag shows up with a contact, right? So if land for sale, that's our hashtag through this whole thing. I want to send those price reduced land listings. So I'm going to do land for sale alert. We can do a dynamic subject line, or I'm going to always have it say this. I'm going to have it say updated PA price reduced PA land listings. So it's very congruent with what they initially opted in for. They'll remember what it was, right? And in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and draw on the map just to make my life easier. So I'll come in here and I'll say, just take this whole big old swath of land here. Click draw area. Anything from like, I don't know, we'll go from, just send land listings for here. So it would be whatever your area is, of course, right? So I botched that a little bit, but you get the point. And then my listing type is going to be land. And then we need to do, our option is the reduced. So we have these additional options right here where I would choose reduced. And again, if you're not using Bold Trail or KV Core, you probably have a system that can do something similar. If you want to check out Bold Trail, you can definitely go to boldtrail.com and request a demo anytime. But you get the idea. You want to send an updated version of that list, even if you set it up manually out of your MLS. That's another option as well. And I'm just going to set this up to go out once weekly to all these people opting in. Now, one other thing you can do, and I highly recommend this, it's a little bit extra. If you could do a featured land listing of the week, that would be awesome and will drastically increase your conversions. And what that looks like is that you go into your system and you go to marketing again. Let's go to marketing. And once a week, you manually come in here and you do a scheduled mass email. You click schedule and you say, hey, anybody who has the hashtag, again, what is it? It's land for sale, whatever you set your hashtag as. Anybody who has that hashtag, I want to send them an email today, and I want to talk about this one specific piece of land and why I think it's a good buy. Now, this is the little extra secret sauce. You're going to need to do a little work. You're going to need to know that inventory pretty well, right? But this will push people over the edge, especially if you do a video. They'll be more likely to interact with you. So I just wanted to add that as sort of a final bullet under the setup weekly updated list. If you can manually email a specific land listing, right? So as we flow down here, we have like different levels of automation, right? This is like set it and forget it. This is set it and forget it. Set it and forget it. Set it and forget it. Set it and forget it, right? So all of this you can kind of let run. And then if you layer on a little bit of not set it and forget it, you put a little, maybe an hour of work a weekend to really demonstrating your expertise here, you can, get more engagement by talking about specific listings. And then the other content that you're going to want to send, remember going back to the top here, the other content you're going to want to send is content related to marketing ideas for selling a house, getting a house ready for sale, refinancing, things of that nature. Remember, you've got a lot of homeowners on your list who might list with you someday, so you definitely want to be manually or automatically sending stuff related to being a homeowner in their area. There are a lot of other ideas here. If you do find out the person's address, you can send them market reports. You can set them up to get any listings set up in their neighborhood. But the bottom line is, by the time you execute all of these steps, you've got a growth system built that will reliably get homeowners coming into your fold who might list with you someday, and a set percentage of them will have conversations with you that could lead to listings. The lead magnet itself, the land listings, that's bait, right? That's your hook, and you're going to, of course, here and there, you might do a cash deal that's real quick on a specific land listing, or you might decide you want to pursue that niche in a much heavier way. But at the end of the day, you're bringing people into your fold who are talking to you, who you have a good idea probably own a home, and I've just shown you all the ingredients that you need to get that done. So if you like this, please go ahead and subscribe to the Inside Real Estate YouTube channel. Join us in one of our Facebook groups. If you need a system that'll help you get this all done, check out Bold Trail. Bold Trail is the evolution of KV Core. We're the same people here at Inside Real Estate behind Boomtown these days. And if you're just looking for the best when it comes to building your real estate growth engines, you definitely need to check out boldtrail.com. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in a future video.